Imagine this. Pakistan gets the financial power and energy influence of Saudi Arabia. Turkey brings advanced military technology and strategic reach. And Pakistan brings something even more consequential, nuclear capability. Now put all these together. Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Turkey. A new strategic triangle is taking shape in West Asia. And for India, this is not just another diplomatic development. It could become a serious strategic concern. But why? And should India actually be worried? Let's break it down. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have entered a strategic defense framework designed to strengthen their security cooperation. Turkey is also becoming increasingly connected to this emerging security arrangement. The basic idea is simple. If one partner faces a major security threat, the other are expected to stand by it. On paper, this is about collective security and deterrence. But geopolitics is rarely about what is written on paper. It's about who gains power, who gains confidence, and who gains strategic option. And that's where India starts paying attention. Let's look at the three players. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an economic and energy heavyweight. It has enormous financial resources and sits at the heart of the Gulf's energy system. But Saudi Arabia also faces serious security concern, from regional conflicts to missile and drone threat. So Riyadh wants a stronger security partnership. Turkey. Turkey has one of the most capable military industrial sectors in the region. Its drone, defense technology, and growing indigenous weapon industry have significantly increased its strategic influence. And Turkey already has close relation with Pakistan. And then there is Pakistan. Pakistan possesses nuclear weapon and maintains one of the world's largest standing militaries. So you have three very different forms of power coming together. Saudi Arabia, money and energy. Turkey, military technology and industrial capability. Pakistan, military strength and nuclear deterrence. That combination deserves attention. Now let's come to the most important question. Why should India be concerned? The first reason is obvious. Pakistan. India and Pakistan remain strategic rival. And whenever Pakistan gains new military, financial or diplomatic support, New Delhi naturally evaluates what that means for India's security. Turkey is another concern. Ankara has repeatedly maintained close political and defense relations with Islamabad. So if Turkey's defense cooperation with Islamabad becomes even deeper, India will have to factor that into its strategic calculation. But there is another piece of the puzzle, Saudi Arabia. And this is where things get complicated. India and Saudi Arabia have developed strong economic and diplomatic relations. Energy is crucial, trade is important, investment is growing, and millions of Indians live and work across the Gulf. So India cannot look at Saudi Arabia simply through the lens of Pakistan. India has important interest in Saudi Arabia. At the same time, Saudi Arabia has deep strategic ties with Pakistan. That creates a delicate balancing act for New Delhi. India's challenge is therefore not simply how do we counter Pakistan. The bigger question is how do we protect our interest while maintaining strong relationship with all major players in the region. Now comes the most sensitive issue, Pakistan's nuclear capability. Saudi Arabia doesn't possess an acknowledged nuclear arsenal. Turkey doesn't either. Pakistan does. That means any security arrangement involving Pakistan automatically attracts attention because of the nuclear dimension. But let's be very clear. This doesn't mean Saudi Arabia and Turkey have suddenly formed an anti-India nuclear alliance. That would be an exaggeration. The agreement should not automatically be interpreted as plan for military action against India. But from India's perspective, the possibility of Pakistan gaining greater strategic confidence and external support is something that cannot simply be ignored. And this is where strategic anxiety comes in. India's concern necessarily is not that these three countries will suddenly attack India. The bigger concern is something much more subtle, strategic alignment. Imagine Pakistan receiving greater diplomatic backing, greater access to defense technology, stronger economic support, and deeper strategic cooperation. That could give Islamabad more room to maneuver internationally. And in geopolitics, sometimes the most important weapon is not a missile, it is strategic confidence. If a country believes it has powerful partners standing behind it, its calculation can change. That is precisely why India will be watching this alliance carefully. But should India panic? Absolutely not. India has its own strategic advantages. New Delhi has a strong relation with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries. India also maintains a strategic partnership with Israel, the United States, France, and other major powers. At the same time, India has important interest and connectivity projects involving Iran. This gives India something extremely valuable: strategic flexibility. India doesn't have to belong exclusively to one geopolitical camp. It can maintain relationship with competing powers while pursuing its own national interest. And that could become India's biggest strategic advantage in a rapidly changing West Asia. But there is a much bigger story there. For decades, America's security presence was central to Middle East security architecture. Today, regional powers increasingly want to develop their own security capabilities and partnerships. Saudi Arabia is looking for strategic autonomy. Turkey is expanding its military influence. Pakistan is looking for stronger strategic partnership. And countries across West Asia are increasingly asking one question: if the regional security environment changes, who will protect us? That question is creating new partnerships. And those partnerships are changing the map of power. So is this new Saudi-Pakistan-Turkey alignment an anti-India alliance? Not necessarily. Is it an immediate military threat to India? No. But should India be anxious? India should be alert, because the real danger may not be a direct confrontation. It may be the gradual creation of a regional security network in which Pakistan becomes more strategically connected, more confident, and more difficult to isolate. And that is something New Delhi will certainly be watching. The world is entering an era where traditional alliances are being reshaped. Saudi Arabia is changing its strategic posture. Turkey is expanding its influence. Pakistan is looking for new strategic depth. And India sits right next to one of the world's most complicated geopolitical neighborhoods. For India, the answer cannot simply be fear. It has to be diplomacy, economic strength, military preparedness, and strategic partnership. Because in geopolitics, the countries that survive turbulent times are not necessarily those with the most enemies, they are the countries with the most strategic options. So what do you think? If the Saudi Arabia-Pakistan-Turkey alignment is a genuine strategic threat to India or an opportunity for India to strengthen its own position in West Asia? Let me know your thoughts.